Hello, this is Jacob, again, and this is my 500 subscriber Q&A special. As always, I thank you all for your questions. The first question... Excuse me a minute. Whoa!
Hello, Jacob! It's nice to finally meet you!
Wow, I never expected to see you guys at my bedroom door.
I know, right?
So, what are you guys doing here?
Well, we heard that you're making a Q&A video to celebrate 500 subscribers on YouTube.
And we were wondering if we could help you with it.
Alright, so, how exactly would you like to help?
Maybe the five of us could take turns reading the questions while you answer them.
Does that sound good?
Sure.
Oh boy! This is gonna be fun!
May we come in?
Certainly. As I was saying, the first question is from Jason Lowe.
Hey Jacob! Have you ever seen any popular anime and/or tokusatsu shows involving giant robots?
For the part about tokusatsu shows involving giant robots, I have not. I haven't had a chance to see very many anime, though I have seen some. As for the anime that I have seen, they were actually some popular anime titles, like Pokemon, and like I said before in a previous Q&A, I briefly seen Yu-Gi-Oh! And Naruto, and also Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. Questions number 2 through 7 are from Lucas, or Mario Fan 96.
What are your thoughts on Splatoon?
From the gameplay footage I've seen, it definitely looks like a fun game. If I get a chance to try it out, I definitely will.
Have you had the chance to play Pokemon Go? If you have, what do you think of it?
I have played Pokemon Go as I've downloaded it here on my phone, and I do like the augmented reality in the game and how it basically promotes exercise since you have to go around places in order to catch several Pokemon. And it's interesting how you have that little meter that shrinks down and you have to have it just in the right place whenever you're throwing a Pokeball at a Pokemon. It's a fun app.
What are your thoughts on Studio Ghibli?
So far, the only Studio Ghibli movie I've seen is Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. And it's a really awesome movie. And I am interested in seeing more Studio Ghibli movies that were made by Hayao Miyazaki, like Princess Mononoke and Spirited Away.
Do you have a most favorite classic Disney movie and a most favorite modern Disney movie?
Yes, I do. One of my favorite classic Disney movies is The Great Mouse Detective, which is now 30 years old at this point. I like the idea of a mystery movie based on a book series in which you have a character who's a lot like Sherlock Holmes. In fact, Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson briefly appear in this movie. And Barry Ingham does a good job voicing Basil of Baker Street. And Vincent Price is the best aspect of this movie when he voices Professor Radigan. Professor Radigan is a really cool villain, and he does well at what he does. Same with Basil of Baker Street. And I also like hearing Alan Young, the voice of Scrooge McDuck, voicing Hiram Flaversham. I'm glad they got him to voice a character in the movie. As for modern, I would say a couple of my favorite modern Disney movies are Tangled and Wreck-It Ralph. Tangled is how I became a fan of Mandy Moore, and I also like the inclusion of Brad Garrett. And Wreck-It Ralph is a really cool movie, seeing as how it takes place inside a couple of video game worlds. And I think it's cool how they got Dennis Haysbert to voice the General Hologram, and how you see a cameo appearance by Sonic the Hedgehog, and just other things. It's just a good movie in general. And I also like Stephanie Scott's minor role as the Muppet Girl.
What are your thoughts on the Mother and Earthbound games?
I have seen some gameplay of the game, especially the final battle with Gygus, and it looks really cool.
What are your thoughts on the Dracula rap, and that Charles Martinet, the voice of Mario and several other characters, portrayed Dracula himself?
I thought that was a cool video, and it was cool that it was Charles Martinet playing a rapping Dracula. It first came to my attention that that video existed when somebody posted a comment talking about it on Charles Martinet's Behind the Voice Actors page, and they put a link to it. That's how I first found it out. Questions number 8 and 9 are from PJFan94.
Do you have any favorite movies that Tim Burton directed, produced, etc.?
I do like the 2010 Alice in Wonderland movie and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. In fact, I actually prefer Charlie and the Chocolate Factory over the 1971 version, especially since Anna Sophia Robb plays Violet Beauregarde, and they even got Christopher Lee to play Wilbur Wonka. Speaking of Christopher Lee, he was also the voice of the Jabberwocky in Alice in Wonderland. I thought that was cool too.
Thoughts on the Spyro the Dragon series?
From the brief gameplay I've seen of the first Spyro the Dragon game, it definitely looks fun. Questions number 10 and 11 are from Ernie2003.
Have you heard the Japanese version of We Will Rock You?
I have not until you brought it up, so I looked it up, and it sounds cool.
Have you seen any movies of the Fast and the Furious trilogy?
I haven't had a chance to, but if I do get the chance to, I'll try and watch them. Question number 12 is from Miss Bunny Swan.
How do you get your hair styled so perfectly?
With a slow and steady hand. Question number 13 is from Sonic Luke.
Sup, Jacob? What games did you use to play all the time when you were little?
I don't remember the exact time I started playing video games. I guess I was like probably over 6 when I started playing them, but a lot of times I would go over to one of my cousin's houses and play Super Mario 64 a lot. And also, when I had a Game Boy Advance SP, at a time when it was becoming obsolete, I would play Super Mario World and Super Mario Bros. 3 a lot, as well as Pokemon Sapphire, which happened to be my first Pokemon game, and just several others. Question number 14 is from Cigar Rock.
Why do you obsessively follow Blaze the movie then around?
Well, I mean, Blaze and I are friends, and if he posts comments on some videos that I may agree with, I'll just reply to his comment saying I agree with it. Same thing if I disagree. And a lot of times, you know, when you have friends, you might have a lot to say around them. It never came to my mind that I may have been obsessively following him around. But we're friends. Question number 15 is from Belle Clementi.
Would you work with Mary Kay Bergman if she was still alive?
Well, if she were still alive, and if I were to be cast in something that she would be voice acting in, then sure. And I think it would be fun to work with her. Question number 16 is from Mystical Reviewer.
What are you most hoping for to happen before Season 6 of MLP ends?
Well, seeing as how the Season 6 finale is literally this Saturday, I'll just say what I've been hoping for that may or may not happen. And even if it doesn't happen this season finale, I would at least hope to see it in the show at some point. I would hope that since Thorax is actually a changeling that's good and doesn't want to harm others, while all the rest of the changelings and Queen Chrysalis are actually evil, I would hope that he would at least try to convince the other changelings and Queen Chrysalis about friendship and possibly fail or something. And just make it clear that he doesn't want to be like them. Another thing I would hope to see, if not in this season finale, but hopefully, would be a team up with Tyrek and Queen Chrysalis, or whichever other villain, and maybe Starlight and Trixie teaming up with the other main 6, and maybe Sunset Shimmer against Tyrek, some things like those. Those are some things I'd like to see at some point, if not this season finale. Question number 17 is from The Second Opinion.
What are your 3 favorite MLP episodes?
My third favorite is a 3-way tie between Super Speedy Cider Squeezy 6000, Leap of Faith, and Viva Las Pegasus. All 3 of these episodes have the Flim Flam brothers. Of the 2 brothers, I like Flim the most, since he's voiced by Sam Vincent. And he's a pretty cool character. So I like seeing those 3 episodes. My second favorite is Over a Barrel, as it has my second favorite MLP character, Chief Thunderhooves, voiced by Scott McNeil. And my most favorite episode, or episodes, should I say, are every episode that exists with Discord in it. John Delancey for the win. Question number 18 is from Andrew Sudum.
If you had all the time and money in the world, what would be the first thing for you to do?
Give some of that money I have to as many homeless people I can find, and give it to as many charities I can find. That would be the first thing I'd do with it if I had all the time and money in the world to do that. And question number 19 is from Michael Schomer.
What advice would you give to people who want to do voice acting?
There are a couple of tips that I would give, and I've actually learned some tips from the book Voiceover, Voice Actor, What It's Like Behind the Mic by Yuri Lowenthal and Tara Platt. The first tip I would give is to obviously learn how to act, because I keep hearing about a common misconception about voice acting being that it's just someone doing funny voices and other things like that, when in reality, that's far from the case. Because what voice acting is acting with your voice. And you have to make sure that acting comes first and foremost, and if you happen to have a voice talent, that kind of comes second or third. And I would also advise that, if you have a powerful imagination, use it, as that's a lot of what voice acting is usually you're imagining what the character you're portraying is like. And this other tip is what I learned from Voiceover, Voice Actor, What It's Like Behind the Mic. This tip would be to make sure that your voice sounds clear before you're recording, whether you're doing an audition or when you actually get a part. There are a couple of ways to make sure that your voice sounds clear. One thing is to refrain from eating or drinking specific things, like soda, red meats, anything with dairy in it, and possibly some other things. Because they can make your voice sound kind of off. It can kind of possibly make you sound a little bit groggy or other things. And you can actually make your voice sound more clear by eating or drinking certain things. The main thing that Yuri and Tara recommended was the juice from green apples. Basically, you just get a green apple, take a bite into it, and suck the juice out of it, because the juice in them actually helps clean out your throat and your vocal cords. And there are other things that can make your voice sound clear, like pineapple juice. And this tip is a tip I would recommend to not just aspiring voice actors, but basically anybody who uses a microphone. And the last tip that I personally would like to give is to actually give the book. I actually have a copy right here. Yeah, it's the book Voiceover, Voice Actor, What It's Like Behind the Mic. If you really want to get into voice acting, get this book. It tells you many things, if not everything, you need to know about voice acting. And I found it to be very helpful, and I've incorporated some of these tips into whenever I voice act. I mean, before I record myself on my mic, whether it's for one of my YouTube videos or for a project on someone else's YouTube channel I might be in, I always try to make sure that I refrain from eating things, like I said earlier, and I always try to make sure that I have water and or pineapple juice. Mostly pineapple juice, as it makes your voice sound more clear, like I said. So, this has been my 500 subscriber Q&A special. I hope you enjoyed, and special thanks to Sonic Luke for all of the photoshopped images of each of the characters I used in my intro. Thanks for that, Luke. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to click the like button, and also don't forget to comment and subscribe. And I'll provide you with links to my Facebook and Twitter pages, as well as my Skype name in the description as well. And as always, this is Jacob, signing off.